So I want to talk to you about the relationship between the pelvic floor down here in your pelvis and your rib cage. So we're going to have a lot of anatomy lessons in here, and I think it'll be beneficial in feeling and connecting to your body. So the pelvis has a right leg, right hip, left leg, left hip, and a right pelvic floor, left pelvic floor. Okay, we are supposed to utilize this pelvis in a alternating, reciprocated way. Often after growing a baby, we create a really good house for baby. Once baby comes out, we actually have to create space on the bottom, right? So if you have muscle tension, tight hips, less flexibility in your entire system down here, it puts a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor. So after you have the baby, we are then basically automatically kind of put back to where we need to be, but our body spent almost a year getting to this beautiful state to house a human. What I want you to understand is the pelvic floor is like a sling or like a trampoline that rebounds pressure. So this is when, incontinence, you feel the pressure of your bladder, you feel pressure with the baby, you feel pressure when you need to go to the bathroom to have a bowel movement. All of these things are at downward pressure. A lot of that pressure, downward force, comes from the area of path of least resistance. You just pushed a human out of your body, okay? The flip side of that is your body is also altered from holding your body in this forwardly rotated position. Baby is here, forwardly rotated position that tightens up your pelvic floor, but also tightens up your diaphragm. And now it's harder for you to exhale kind of back into that restful state. When we release the tone out of the diaphragm and the tension out of the arms and the head and neck and the jaw, we can then bring your pelvis literally back in alignment with your diaphragm. So instead of having the baby belly, pregnancy belly with a bigger arch and more stress on that anterior front, we can learn how to restack and keep those vertical trampolines dancing together. So your diaphragm is on the top under the rib cage. Your pelvic floor is on the bottom in the pelvis. It kind of creates like this dome-like shape that needs to be restored to move vertical pressure up and down. When you grow a baby, it allows you to kind of come forward and create more stability here throughout. And then you have to use your pelvic floor, you have to use your back muscles. I don't want to get too far into a tangent here, but you can see that if I tip my body forward, I'm also closing down my pelvic floor. Once the baby comes out, it forces you to kind of do the opposite. And then once your baby is actually out, now you have to figure out how to respond to gravity and to pressure and to movement and to holding that baby on the outside of your body instead of having baby really close to your spine in a very stable sense. So these two trampolines, pelvic floor and diaphragm, need to be not stacked forward anymore. They need to be pulled back so that we can inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale in a vertical sense and take the tension out of our head, neck, hips, back. Avoid that separation in your ab wall. All of these things are important when we're starting this protection of the bottom. Often it's not the bottom that has a lot of the problem. It's because the shift in the ability to create more motion, because a human went through your pelvis, you actually have unrecognized more motion that your body doesn't know how to utilize. So it increases tension and holding patterns, so you actually don't have as much freedom to move your body. But this is why we're starting at a top-down perspective. We need to pull that rib cage back over that pelvic floor, so then we have a better foundation to start building that center core network relationship.